This one's right up near the top of the list. The Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans would store. The moment is upon us, and we've got what should be an epic one here, as it'll be the AFC champion Baltimore Ravens taking on the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis figure that they are very battle-tested and ready.
I'd agree with you 100% about that. You don't get there without having those types of attributes, and this is what you look for in a Super Bowl team. Character, confidence. These guys don't lack for either one of those. Now they're here. Now they're ready to win.
Meanwhile, for our champions of the NFC, this was a battle of attrition this year. It was a tough road to get here, but now they feel like they are battle-tested and ready to go.
And that certainly cannot be overlooked. They've taken everyone's best shot this season, and they've withstood all of them.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
No doubt about it. Really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's third down. We need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Escaping the pressure right. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
And this may be a big early turning point in this Super Bowl. They're going to go for it on fourth down here. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. That's kind of a double whammy. I mean, the interception on the opening drive.
To start the second half, they line them up in field goal position, and to me, they got a chance for a touchdown right here out of the gate.
And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. Second down. Ball at the 23, second and 8. Now it's so consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Stopped by the safety, Kyle Hamilton. When he runs that football, he's got a first.
He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the first down.
A first down carry for Barkley. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
And that's exactly what you're looking for at the inside linebacker spot. Versatility. He can drop into coverage, or as he did on that last play, use his speed to get to the perimeter and knock the ball carrier for a loss.
But he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, after the standard 2-week layoff, you always wonder how's your offense going to respond and come out and play here in the Super Bowl. Well, they got a great answer right there and almost a sigh of relief on that side of the field because now they've got to feel like they can use their entire playbook.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 27 yards. And the Eagles are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And this is caught out in the left flag. And he gets in. But no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds. So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
Jackson. This will go to Henry out wide. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Now, you may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. Jalen Carter working his way back behind the line of scrimmage and dropping it for a loss. In motion, Aguilar. Second down, they go again with Henry. Derrick Henry all alone. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. 46 yards for Derrick Henry. And the Ravens are back within a couple of the lead. So that CD, that was impressive. He got out of 3, maybe 4 tackles there on his way to the end zone.
And a lot of times when you break a tackle or slip a tackle, it actually slows you down. That's what we were taught. If you don't make the play, make him stop his feet so someone else can get there and tackle him. But not here. He just kept right on going.
Jackson and the Ravens still on the field. They'll go for 2. They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he'll get in to tie this game at 8. Well, it's definitely early enough here. They didn't need to go for 2. They didn't have to go for 2, but hey, they did. We're all tied at 8.
Is this one of those anything you can do, I can match? Because that's exactly what we got on that one. Neither one of these teams wants to give any ground, do they?
So 8-8 our score now as he'll send this one away. And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Saquon Barkley. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Saquon Barkley, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Eagles have taken the lead. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Fighting to stay upright. And he'll get into the end end zone. That gives his guys an 8-point lead. So 2 successful two-point tries now for them.
And you know what it does? It gives you a boost, a huge one for your team because, hey, you're dominating them now. They can't stop you either scoring touchdowns or two-point conversions. But how about the defense? You don't know what to do at this stage. You can't stop them in any direction.
The Ravens offense back out there. They trailed early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. Brought down that time by Nolan Smith.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Henry again on 2nd down. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. The 4-3 defense there did its job, funneled things right to the middle linebacker.
If they do a nice job of playing team defense, everyone takes care of their responsibilities. That allows that guy in the middle to do his job, which is search and destroy.
Well, that's going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson. He's able to find Wallace. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. A defensive breakdown allows a pickup of 16 on 4th down. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order to gain the yardage you need for a 1st down.
A 1st down carry for Henry. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. 53 yards rushing for him now in the opening quarter of this Super Bowl. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
In motion, Aguilar. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. Looking deep here for Flowers. And the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Zay Flowers, 47 yards. And the Ravens have come back to make it a 2-point game. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Burt sets up to throw it. Flush to his right. And he goes out of bounds downs, it looks like right at the 50. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running.
I have to tuck it and try and get some yardage on this first down snap. He doesn't just get some yards, though. He gets a big gain, and they'll come right back with another 1st and 10.
Up the middle with Barkley. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 14 yards there and an Eagle first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling. That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. Here's a fake on the jet sweep as he'll go instead with Barkley. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. 3rd down and 13. Here's Hurts to throw. Oh, he stays up. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down. We are just getting started here at Super Bowl. Welcome back to the date on the calendar we circle every year, Super Bowl Sunday. Brandon Gaud and Charles Davis here with you as we get set to begin quarter 2. Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on 4th down. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it, and the Ravens are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
They started this drive with terrific field position, and it's going to get even better after that play. Had great options with where they started, so they decided to press their advantage, and it paid off.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Henry up the middle. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Derrick Henry, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Ravens have taken the lead. So 2 touchdowns for him on the ground in his first half, and that one a thing of beauty.
And just like his last touchdown run, we saw him be patient. How about his vision where he's able to identify where the opening was? And then how about the escort right down the field all the way to the end zone from his blockers?
Jackson here, he's going to look to throw. And that is caught for the 2 points. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fights through him. And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line. Philadelphia's offense ready to go again. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
Barkley, inside handoff. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Marlon Humphrey on the defensive side making that look easy from his corner position.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
The offense stays put. They failed twice already in this first half, but they're going to go a third time here on fourth down. Dancing to his left. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. They've been burned twice already on fourth down, but the third time's the charm as they keep the drive moving.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
Throwing is Hurts. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They moved it a combined 33 yards.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Facing a 2nd and 6 from the 8. A handoff to Barkley on the option. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
He'll drop to throw. Open man, he's got him. That's Smith for the Philadelphia touchdown. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Eagles are an extra point away from taking the lead in this Super Bowl. Eagles offense staying out there. Of course, Hurts always a threat to run. They'll go for 2. It's complete. And he is into the end zone to give him a 2-point lead. So they go with the pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational. You have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. Still fighting. And a less than desirable return as he's out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Derrick Henry trots back out there and gets ready to go. Now he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. Well, he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That goes for a gain of 31. So that one just a little touch pass, but it paid off quite handsomely.
Yeah, and let's face it, the quarterback loves it because it pads his stats as a completed pass for nice yardage downfield. But I like the way they get the receiver in motion. It's almost like he's running a route before he gets the football because he's got a full head of steam when the ball is popped in his direction.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. He'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And what a letdown after a huge play. He's going to pull this in and then set sail for the end zone. And he nearly made it, too. But he's going to be tracked down just short of the goal line. So a big play there that's going to set.
And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Derrick Henry with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Ravens are once again back in front. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. They'll try and throw for it. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And he's into the clear. And he takes it all the way back. It's a pick 2, if you will, as head play backfires in a big way. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. A good balance attack for that last touchdown drive they had. Now it's time to see if they can do that again.
It really becomes a tale of 2 play callers, doesn't it? The offensive guy, he's in sync. Everything's working pretty well. For the defensive
what's
guy,
going on the defensive side?
That's a tough one because he's prepped all week as well, and he can't get a beat.
The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I can hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert. Don't jump early and give them free yardage.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. Loose inside the 30. Inside the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Eagles have yet again retaken the lead. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And this is caught out in the left flank. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead.
All right, partner, one more time. Our whole lives, you put the ball on the 3-yard line, kick the extra point. 2015, they put it on the 15 to kick the extra point. 2016, they said, we're leaving it there. So if you want to fake it, that's a long way to go. And they got it done.
I was going to say, they had a 15-yard play in their back pocket.
You don't see that on too many play sheets, do you?
No. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 7. Off the option, here's Henry. Shreds the tackle, and he's going to have a Ravens first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
They go play action with Jackson. He'll buy some time right. Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep left side. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he'll take this all the way down inside the 40. A reminder coming up here at halftime, we'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first half highlights and analysis from a back and forth first half that we've seen. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Flushed out right. And this one too low.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Hurts. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
And that will be incomplete. They didn't have it away in coverage. That was Kyle Hamilton.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. Dotson in motion right. They'll try and throw for it with Hurts. Escaping the pressure right. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
But this has certainly turned into a showcase game for what he can do on the ground because they're just continuing to give him chances to run it, and he's earning every additional carry by putting up positive yardage on each run.
They'll look to throw here on first down. This is Smith with a grab. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. And now what's this? They fake the spike. He'll throw it. And he's going to get into the end zone. So the fake spike works, and they score. Jalen Hurts, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
And they're a perfect 5 for 5 now on 2-point conversions as he is in to get them 2 more. And with a successful 2-point try, the QB rolling out, I would imagine on the defense that makes it tough. When he goes out, he's got the option to run or pass.
Yeah, it really does. If you decide not to bring extra people or extra pressure, maybe you have to have a spy on the quarterback, someone to account for him, because oftentimes that is the unaccounted for player.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henry. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. Jackson. Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end over the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 16 and an Eagle first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
From the gun, it's Hurts. And this one complete to Smith. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up for the 1st and 10.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They're going to look to throw. Rolling to his left. And I think the ball's out. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. And he missed it. It's no good. And this will remain a 2-touchdown game. So it's halftime here on sports' grandest stage in the Super Bowl. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan. One of the greatest performances of the year usually, but not here. Halftime of the Super Bowl is skipped, and we are on to the second half. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And able to get this out to the 25. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And right now, their chances of hoisting that Lombardi trophy not looking too great, but perhaps that long halftime, maybe it did them a world of good.
Well, if there's ever a chance to regroup, it's in this game, right? Because you do have that long halftime, a chance to really assess things and maybe make some changes and true adjustments. They played great all year long. That was the worst first half of the season for them. They're hoping to put it behind them and come out punching here in the second half.
In motion right is Aguilar. Now Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. And now the red flag out on the field. We'll have a challenge forthcoming.
Previous play is under review.
The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So that challenge not successful there, and that's going to cost him the first of his timeouts. And the tight end goes in motion left. Here's Jackson. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. The tight end in motion right. To throw is Jackson. He's got his man downfield. That's Bateman. Down to the 10. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Rashad Bateman, 65 yards. And the Ravens come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone, and that cuts the lead a bit further. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Eagles offense and running back Saquon Barkley ready to get going again. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change. Because otherwise, that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
And they do finally get him at the 12. 209 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Again, it's Barkley. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jalen Hurts taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Eagles will extend their third quarter lead here in this Super Bowl. The quarterback run has eaten him up all game long, and there he goes again, this time into the end zone.
And what I like about what I'm seeing, absolutely running almost with impunity. He's not worried about his body. He's not worried about sliding. He's not worried about protecting himself. He's worried about getting yardage. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, you've got to start figuring out what these blocking schemes are and finding ways to defeat them.
They're going to run it with Barkley. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. So they kept it on the ground, got it into the end zone. But Charles, sometimes you probably see teams treat a 2-point conversion differently than if it was first and goal from the 2, or I should say third and goal from the 2.
I agree with you totally on that. A lot of teams treat it as if they have farther to go and shy away from running the football. I think this is a great spot to do it because most teams play you for the pass. Go ahead and run and let your linemen surge and fire out.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson set to take over once again. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, the same tempo, the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Now a 2nd and 10. They go play action now. Jackson. They're looking deep here for Flowers. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Jackson from the shotgun. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he's stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
And how about this, a fake? And this is caught. And a fake will work. He's going to have a 1st down. It's a big play that time on the fake punt. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
Okay, that was a fake punt, and it was successful throwing the football. I know you threw the football in your past off of a fake.
Yeah, but unsuccessful back in my high school days. Old Tim Jones dropped it, hit him right in the numbers. But I'll tell you what, these guys, they love this opportunity, don't they? A chance to get involved.
They certainly do, and many of them were quarterbacks or big-time players when they were in high school and college. So to get back doing what they did before, always fun.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And the Eagles are going to take possession here at their own 33.
All right, Brandon. Normally when you hear about guys making 2 interceptions in the game, you're thinking must be a free safety, maybe a corner. How about not getting 2 picks out of one of your linebackers. Again, he's just in the right place at the right time. And that's another great play to come away with the football.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
As always, no rooting interest here. But that was pretty, wasn't it? To see him break through and then pick up his stride.
Yeah, the guy carrying the ball loves it. I think the O-line, they might like and take more satisfaction out of those runs than anybody else, though, right?
Without a doubt, because they're the ones that often have created it.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
A first down there on a pickup at 25.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
238 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Buying time to his left. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
These are running back numbers that he's accumulating right now. Received double-digit carries and has rewarded them by breaking the century mark in rushing, in addition to what he's done through the air. Definitely MVP caliber football we're witnessing.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Eluding the pressure right. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
And down here, 1st and goal, if it's not there, don't force it. You've got at least 2, if not 3 more shots at it. So that's a wise move to get rid of it.
They'll give it to Barkley off the option play. Oh, he bolted. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Eagles are feeling good as they extend their lead in this Super Bowl. The call from Nick Sirianni. Let's go for 2 here, he says. Hurts will throw. And this is going to be intercepted.
It's interesting that when it comes to 2-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, It has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. This will go to Henry out wide. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
His throw is going to be incomplete.
It certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
Play action. Now Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Boy, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Now it's Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back.
Play action. It's Jackson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
Throwing is Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Well, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down. Now a timeout called for by the offense. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back. I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down. Oh, and that is incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Eagles are going to take over in field position. Now a timeout called for by the defense. So, boy, that's already the 3rd they burn here. They are out of timeouts now before we've even hit the 4th quarter. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Here's a give to Barkley. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. The Georgia man, Roquan Smith, came in and got him.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Running again with Barkley on 2nd down. Breaks the tackle, now an alley. Now the stiff arm created some space initially, but he's taken down not long after. Still needing 10 yards, now it's 3rd down. Hurts. Flush to his right. And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Partner, even I can figure out who deserves the lion's share of credit for their lead right now because he's been terrific in a dual threat role, really chewing up yardage and getting them points with his legs. Simply put, that defense has had no way of...
Got a man complete, and they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 21 yards there, a big play on 4th down. A handoff to Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And there's just one quarter that remains in this edition of the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, as we get set for the 4th quarter. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Here's Hurts to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
They hand off to their big tight end. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. C.J. Uzomah. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Eagles are starting to pour it on the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl. Extra point, Jake Elliott. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It's caught at the 5. And he gets in. But no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit because this is something I thought would be at the game by now, but sometimes these head coaches and special teams coordinators, they just can't help themselves. It's a fake extra point, but sure enough, it winds up working out for 2 points.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And it's becoming more and more apparent that this is just not going to be their night. That Lombardi trophy so close, but the expectations simply have not matched the results as they start on this drive 1st and 10. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down. Jackson. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Eagles.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. Has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
So fourth quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Yeah, this is going to be an Eagles first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
And only a couple for him there as the tackle is made at the 42.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 9. They'll run it again with Barkley. And to the 46 he goes and no further, so he is well short of the first down marker. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now.
It hurts not coming to the sideline. They're going to go for it.
They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Shifts by him, and he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
And this is a rarity in the NFL, a 100-yard game on the ground for a quarterback. Even as those passers get more athletic and mobile, we only see about 5 of these a season. Takes a special set of circumstances for it to happen, and, of course, a special player.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line.
Off the edge and right to the ball that time was Kyle Van Noy.
On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Gets this out to Saquon Barkley. Oh, what a juke into space. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. Oh, a good move at the 5. They showed some tough running, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. He wanted that end zone. Powerful running, but he couldn't quite get there.
And that's going to really make him upset. And right now, there's no way he's letting a coach take him out of the game. He's going to want the ball again, so he actually does get into the end zone, hopefully on his next carry.
2nd down. Here's Barkley again. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Being chased out left. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
No. Davis from the top rope. I like it. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And this is caught out in the left flat. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And their Super Bowl hopes are dwindling here in the 4th. That AFC crown from 2 weeks ago starting to seem like a distant memory. And this one just has not gone as they had hoped. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that one to the right side and incomplete. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Second and 10. Jackson now. That's into the hands of Wallace over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 at a Baltimore 1st down. Now, 4th quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off.
Delay of game, offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still 2nd down.
And now after the delay of game, they're operating behind the sticks, 2nd and 15. Again, Jackson. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
As expected, he's gone to him several times in this game, but that's the first time one has slipped from his grasp. I bet he goes back to him, though. He's an excellent player.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Jackson. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Eagles are going to have it here just past the 25. Well, they've got the huge lead now. They have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And they are trying to play it cool down on the sidelines, but they know that they are very close now to wrapping this thing up and letting the celebration begin. A Super Bowl title within reach now as they try to polish this thing off. They'll try and run some clock here with Barkley. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. They'll go to Barkley again. Escapes the defender. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be giving a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
So from just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 9. A handoff to Barkley on the option. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. And the Lombardi Trophy will rest in the city of brotherly love. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl champs. For the victors getting to hoist that Lombardi Trophy, you know, we've talked to guys that have done it, and they say there's no better